Okay, kicking things off is arguably the most popular creepypasta, Jeff the Killer. That being said, I probably don't need to get much into the plot, but since this is a review, I will anyway. Plot involves a kid named Jeff, who moves into a new neighborhood with his parents and his brother Lou. Throughout the story, Jeff starts to feel these urges, but dismisses them quickly. It doesn't take a genius to know what these urges are, but I won't say because then I'll have to skip a lot of the story. Well, anyway, him and Lou go to the bus stop for school and get jumped by three kids named Randy, Keith, and Troy. Randy is like their leader, a cocky, skateboarding asshole that just kind of resembles a typical bully in these type of stories. Keith is a very, very skinny kid that hangs out with Randy and, well, basically does the same thing as him. He's a bully. Troy is a really fat kid that basically does the same thing as Keith. Randy takes Lou's wallet and tries to jack some money from him. Jeff gets pissed off and punches him in the nose and then breaks his wrist and takes the knife. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Randy had a knife. Keith tries to get Jeff, but he dodges him and stabs him in the arm with the knife. Then he punches Troy and makes him vomit. Yeah, he beats the shit out of these kids. Well, the bus driver arrives and Jeff and Lou flee. They go to school and don't mention this at all. They basically act like it never happened. The next morning, a cop shows up and tries to find out what went on. Jeff explains everything, but Lou jumps in and takes the blame. This results in Lou being taken to juvenile hall. Jeff feels awful, but there's really nothing he can do. Next, him and his parents are at a little kid's birthday party across the street, and the same three kids that jumped him and Lou show up with knives and guns and challenge Jeff to a fight. Basically, Randy and Jeff get into this heated fight, one that involves knives and blood. Yeah, this is intense. Well, during this fight, Jeff's sanity snaps and he kills Randy by savagely punching him multiple times. Keith and Troy get involved immediately. Jeff runs into the bathroom, rips the towel rack off and hits Troy in the face. We assume that Troy dies from this. Next comes Keith. Keith doesn't go down easy. Him and Jeff get into it. Jeff gets covered in bleach, and before Jeff can finish him off, Keith lights him on fire. God damn, this is one fucked up fight sequence. Well, anyway, the bleach caused his skin to go white, and the burns took its toll as well. Next, Jeff is at the hospital and hears that Lou is going to be released from juvie because witnesses heard that Randy had confessed to attacking him and his brother. When his face is unbandaged, he sees that his skin is completely white, his hair had turned black, and his lips were bright red. Basically, he looked like the Joker. Well, instead of hating it, he loves it. He laughs maniacally and acts like a maniac about it. His mom asks the nurse about it, and the nurse says it's just the drugs that they were putting him on while he was healing. In the final part of the story, Jeff is carving a smile into his face, which just brings the Joker to mind again. And he burns his eyelids off. His mom finds him doing this and then tells his dad to go grab the gun. Before he can, Jeff kills them both. Then he goes to his brother Randy, and when Jeff is asked what he's doing, Jeff just says, "Shh, just go to sleep." Which is like Jeff's thing. Before he kills any victims, he says, "Go to sleep." Well, in all honesty, I don't really see what all the hype is about. Maybe because I can poke a couple holes in major parts of the story. Like the bus fight scene. What the hell kind of parents would let their kids leave the school to a bus stop with knives? The other fight scene kind of has me scratching my head too. Why weren't the adults calling the police while this was happening? I mean, yeah, Keith and Troy said nobody interrupts or else they'll shoot, which is something I forgot to mention earlier, but still, couldn't one of the adults sneak out and call the cops? I mean, I don't know, but that just seems to be the more logical approach. Now you might think I hate this story, but I don't. In fact, I actually found it pretty disturbing. I've read it twice, and I listened to it on YouTube once. It's a terrifying concept. The idea of that face coming into my house and saying, "Go to sleep," makes me want to piss myself, and not by laughing. Overall, Jeff the Killer is a flawed but satisfying story. One that may be a bit overrated, but deserves its share of praise. I recommend it if you're in the mood for a good, disturbing story. Well, that's about all I have to say about this story. Tune in tomorrow where I review Jeff the Killer Part 2 as a part of Creepypasta-Thon. This is Cujo06241 signing out.